Cars wrapped around the building before sunrise. Employees sprinted between fryers. Orders piled up faster than they could be filled. Across the street, another restaurant sat unusually quiet. For decades, that scene would have been impossible to imagine. KFC was once the undisputed king of fried chicken in America. Its famous bucket had become a symbol of family dinners, road trips, and comfort food. Yet somewhere along the way, America changed. Customers who had grown up loving Kentucky Fried Chicken slowly began taking their appetites somewhere else. Competitors emerged from every direction, each promising something fresher, faster, or simply better. What followed wasn't just a battle over fried chicken. It became one of the fiercest brand wars in fast food history. The surprising part is that KFC didn't lose because people stopped loving fried chicken. Americans were eating more chicken than ever before. The market was growing. Demand was stronger than it had ever been. Yet the company that had practically invented fast food fried chicken found itself struggling to keep up while rivals celebrated record-breaking sales. How could the pioneer of an industry lose control of the very market it created? To understand that answer, the story has to begin long before billion-dollar advertising campaigns and nationwide restaurant chains. It begins with a man who refused to believe failure was permanent. Long before millions recognized his smiling face on buckets of chicken, Harland Sanders had experienced more setbacks than most people would endure in a lifetime. He worked as a farmhand, a streetcar conductor, a railroad worker, an insurance salesman, and several other jobs. Almost every chapter of his early life ended with disappointment. Businesses failed, opportunities disappeared, financial stability always seemed just out of reach. Most people would have accepted defeat. Sanders didn't. In the small town of Corbin, Kentucky, he opened a service station where hungry travelers could buy simple home-cooked meals. There was no grand business strategy, no expensive marketing campaign, just fried chicken prepared with extraordinary care. Customers kept coming back. Word spread quickly. Drivers began planning their routes around his restaurant. People weren't simply buying chicken, they were buying consistency. Every meal tasted familiar. Every visit delivered the same experience. In an industry where quality often depended on whoever happened to be cooking, Sanders became obsessed with creating a recipe that anyone could reproduce. Years of experimentation eventually produced the famous blend of 11 herbs and spices, a recipe that would become one of the world's most closely guarded trade secrets. But even the greatest recipe couldn't stop progress. When a new interstate highway diverted traffic away from Corbin, the restaurant lost the steady stream of travelers that had kept it alive. Sales collapsed almost overnight. For many business owners, that would have marked the end. Instead, it became the beginning. Already in his 60s, Sanders packed his pressure cooker, his seasonings, and his determination into a car. He drove from restaurant to restaurant, offering owners a simple deal. They could use his recipe, and in return, he would receive a small royalty for every piece of chicken sold. The idea sounded unusual. Many owners rejected him before he could even finish his pitch. Others laughed. Some didn't bother tasting the chicken. Still, he kept driving, town after town, state after state. One rejection became 10. 10 became 50. 50 became hundreds. Yet every no pushed him toward the one restaurant owner willing to say yes. That persistence transformed a struggling cook into the face of one of America's fastest-growing restaurant chains. Within a few years, Kentucky Fried Chicken expanded across the United States at an astonishing pace. Families associated the brand with quality, generosity, and trust. The iconic red and white bucket became more than packaging. It became part of American culture. Children recognized the Colonel's face before they could read. Weekend dinners often ended with a bucket sitting in the middle of the table, while relatives reached for one more piece. Television commercials reinforced the image of homemade Southern cooking. Even as the company expanded into a nationwide franchise, it seemed unstoppable. Then success introduced a new problem. Rapid expansion demanded thousands of restaurants, thousands of employees, and countless franchise owners. Maintaining the same standards that had made the original restaurant famous became increasingly difficult. Every new location created another opportunity for inconsistency. Some restaurants maintained exceptional quality. Others cut corners. Customers who once knew exactly what to expect now experienced noticeable differences from one location to another. Small cracks began appearing beneath. Consumers a little better than the company that had once dominated the industry. Then, social media changed everything. In the past, a disappointed customer might complain to a few friends. Now, one viral post could reach millions overnight. One photo of undercooked chicken, one video of poor customer service, one negative experience. The internet never forgot. Competitors embraced the new reality. They joked with customers online. They challenged rival brands. They turned product launches into viral events. Perhaps no moment captured the shift better than the now famous chicken sandwich battle. When Popeyes introduced its chicken sandwich, few expected what would happen next. Customers lined up around city blocks. Restaurants sold out. People argued online over which sandwich deserved the crown. News stations covered the phenomenon. Social media exploded with comparisons. The excitement wasn't just about a sandwich. It was free advertising on a national scale. Millions of Americans who hadn't visited Popeyes in years suddenly wanted to see what the hype was about. The company didn't just launch a menu item. It created a cultural event. And where was KFC? Watching from the sidelines. It eventually introduced its own chicken sandwich. But by then, the conversation had already moved on. In business, timing is often just as important as innovation. Being first matters. Being memorable matters even more. The irony couldn't have been greater. The company that had once revolutionized fried chicken was now struggling to lead conversations about fried chicken. Executives searched for answers. Menus were redesigned. Restaurants were remodeled. Marketing campaigns became more aggressive. Limited time offers came and went. Some changes worked. Many didn't. Because the real challenge wasn't simply selling more chicken. It was convincing Americans that KFC was once again the brand shaping the future instead of chasing it. And that would prove to be far more difficult than anyone inside the company had imagined. By the time leadership fully recognized how dramatically consumer expectations had changed, the fried chicken wars had entered a completely new phase. This time, winning wouldn't depend only on taste. It would depend on speed, technology, convenience, branding, and the ability to stay relevant in a world where customer loyalty could disappear with a single swipe on a smartphone. That realization forced KFC into a race it had never expected to run. For decades, competitors had chased KFC. Now KFC was chasing them. The company poured millions of dollars into modernizing its restaurants. Dining rooms were redesigned. Digital menu boards replaced aging signs. Self-service kiosks began appearing in select locations. Mobile ordering became a priority. Delivery partnerships expanded as more Americans chose to have dinner brought straight to their front doors instead of driving to a restaurant. On paper, the strategy made perfect sense. Customers wanted convenience. Technology promised convenience. The investment should have worked. But convenience had already become the industry standard. It was no longer a competitive advantage. Customers expected it. Every major fast food chain was improving its mobile app. Every major chain was offering delivery. Every major chain was investing in technology. KFC wasn't setting a new standard. It was simply catching up. The company also experimented with its menu. New sandwiches appeared. Limited time flavors came and went. Spicy variations, Nashville hot recipes, smoky barbecue coatings, and seasonal promotions were introduced in hopes of capturing attention. Some products generated excitement. Others disappeared almost as quickly as they arrived. The problem wasn't creativity. It was consistency. Customers could remember dozens of KFC promotions. They struggled to remember which ones actually stayed. Meanwhile, competitors were building identities that were becoming impossible to ignore. Chick-fil-A had become synonymous with exceptional customer service. Popeyes had become the bold, confident challenger with unforgettable flavor. Raising Cane's had become the restaurant that refused to complicate its menu. Wingstop had transformed chicken into an experience centered around endless flavor combinations. Each brand stood for something clear. Consumers instantly understood what made them different. KFC, however, was caught between honoring its heritage and reinventing itself for a new generation. That balancing act proved incredibly difficult. Moved too far from tradition, and longtime customers complained that the company had abandoned what made it special. Stay too close to the past, and younger customers saw the brand as outdated. It was a dilemma with no easy answer. Yet one truth became increasingly difficult to ignore. The Colonel had built KFC around a single obsession: quality. Everything else came second. The restaurant, the logo, the advertising, the packaging. The surface. Most customers didn't notice them, not yet, because KFC still had something no competitor could match: time, trust, and a head start that looked impossible to overcome. But while KFC celebrated its dominance, a new generation of restaurant founders was studying every weakness hidden inside the giant. They weren't trying to copy the Colonel. They were searching for everything he had overlooked. And when they finally struck, they wouldn't attack one at a time. They would come from every direction at once. The warning signs were easy to ignore at first. KFC was still opening restaurants. The Colonel's smiling face still appeared in commercials across America. Millions of customers still walked through its doors every week. From the outside, everything looked exactly as it had for years. Inside the company, however, something had changed. The business that had once been driven by one man's relentless obsession with quality had become an enormous corporate machine. Decisions that were once made in a single kitchen were now made in boardrooms. Investors demanded growth. Executives chased quarterly results. Franchisees searched for ways to lower costs without hurting profits. Each decision seemed reasonable on its own. Together, they slowly pulled KFC away from the very identity that had made it famous. Customers couldn't always explain what felt different. They simply knew something had changed. The chicken wasn't always as memorable as it used to be. Some restaurants looked outdated. Service became inconsistent. The experience no longer felt special. And in business, perception can become reality long before the numbers reveal the truth. While KFC focused on protecting the empire it had already built, a new competitor was quietly building something entirely different. It didn't promise buckets of fried chicken. It didn't advertise a secret recipe. It didn't even try to look like KFC. Instead, it asked a simple question. What if customers cared just as much about the restaurant experience as they did about the food itself? That question became the foundation for one of the biggest shifts in the fast food industry. When Chick-fil-A expanded beyond shopping malls and into standalone restaurants, it wasn't trying to beat KFC by copying its menu. It chose another battlefield: customer service. Employees greeted customers with genuine smiles. Restaurants were noticeably cleaner. Orders arrived quickly. Instead of saying, "You're welcome," employees became famous for replying, "My pleasure." It sounded like a small detail. It wasn't. Every interaction reinforced the idea that customers mattered. Families noticed, parents noticed. Even people who preferred KFC's recipe admitted that visiting Chick-fil-A simply felt different. Meanwhile, another challenger was preparing an attack from an entirely different direction. Popeyes wasn't interested in polite service or family-friendly branding. It leaned into bold Louisiana flavors, spicier seasoning, crunchier breading, a louder personality. Its advertising didn't whisper, it shouted. The message was clear. If customers wanted flavor, Popeyes believed it had the better chicken. Then came regional chains with fiercely loyal fan bases. Raising Cane's built an entire business around an unbelievably simple menu. No distractions, no dozens of chicken options, just chicken fingers, fries, toast, coleslaw, and a signature sauce. Many industry experts questioned the strategy. How can a restaurant survive with so few choices? The answer surprised everyone. By doing fewer things, they did them exceptionally well. Customers appreciated the consistency. The kitchens became faster. Training employees became easier. Operations became more efficient. Instead of trying to be everything for everyone, Raising Cane's became the best at one thing. Then came another surprise. Wingstop realized Americans weren't just craving fried chicken anymore. They wanted variety. Different sauces, different spice levels, different flavors every visit. The fried chicken market wasn't shrinking, it was evolving. And KFC wasn't evolving with it. The company still relied heavily on the reputation it had earned decades earlier. Its competitors were creating new reasons for customers to visit. One offered unforgettable service, another offered bolder flavors, another offered simplicity, another offered endless customization. For the first time in decades, KFC wasn't setting the standard. It was reacting to everyone else. The numbers slowly began telling the story. Restaurant traffic shifted. Market share slipped. Competitors climbed higher in customer satisfaction rankings. One by one, brands that had once lived in KFC's shadow started stepping into the spotlight. The most painful part wasn't that KFC suddenly became a bad restaurant. It didn't. The problem was that good enough was no longer enough. Customers had choices, lots of them, and every new competitor seemed to understand modern. They all supported one promise: serve great fried chicken. Over time, that promise had become surrounded by corporate strategies, marketing campaigns, quarterly targets, and competitive pressures. None of those things mattered if customers believed another restaurant served a better meal or offered a better experience. History has shown this lesson again and again. Businesses rarely lose because one competitor suddenly becomes stronger. More often, they lose because several competitors become slightly better in different ways. One improves speed, another improves service, another improves product quality. Another understands changing customer behavior first. Individually, those advantages may seem small. Together, they reshape an entire industry. That is exactly what happened in the fried chicken wars. No single company defeated KFC. Instead, every rival took a different piece of the market. And by the time KFC recognized how much ground had been lost, winning those customers back had become far more difficult than keeping them in the first place. The battle was never just about chicken. It was about expectations. American consumers had changed. They expected cleaner restaurants, friendlier service, faster delivery, more digital convenience, more menu choices, better value, and experiences worth sharing online. The brands that adapted fastest captured the momentum. The brands that hesitated were forced into defense. KFC still remains one of the most recognizable restaurant brands in the world. Outside the United States, it continues to thrive in many international markets, serving millions of customers every day and maintaining a powerful global presence. But in the country where its story began, the crown is no longer guaranteed. The fried chicken wars are still being fought. Only the battlefield has changed. The race was no longer about creating the world's most famous bucket of fried chicken. It was about earning a place in the daily habits of a new generation. Every decision became a test. Should KFC preserve its heritage or reinvent itself? Should it double down on the recipe that made it famous or chase changing consumer tastes? Could a company built on decades of tradition move as quickly as brands that had only recently entered the fight? Those questions didn't have simple answers. Over the years, KFC invested heavily in modernizing its restaurants. Older dining rooms were remodeled. Digital ordering became a larger part of the customer experience. Mobile apps, delivery services, and loyalty programs were introduced to meet customers wherever they wanted to order. The company experimented with new menu items, limited time promotions, and collaborations designed to attract younger audiences. Some launches generated excitement. Others disappeared almost as quickly as they arrived. But one reality remained impossible to ignore. Customers don't compare a company to its own history. They compare it to the best experience they had yesterday. If another restaurant delivers hotter food, friendlier service, shorter wait times, or a more memorable visit, yesterday's reputation suddenly matters a little less. That is one of the harshest realities in business. Success has an expiration date if it isn't constantly renewed. Meanwhile, the competition refused to slow down. Every year brought another restaurant opening, another menu innovation, another marketing campaign, another improvement to the customer experience. The fried chicken wars had evolved into something much larger than a battle over recipes. It had become a competition of execution. Who could serve customers faster? Who could build stronger loyalty? Who could create the better experience from the moment a customer opened an app to the moment they finished their last bite? The winner wasn't always the company with the best chicken. Often, it was the company that removed the most frustration from the customer's day. And that's where the greatest lesson of KFC's story begins to emerge. When Colonel Sanders built his business, he obsessed over one thing: giving people a meal worth talking about. Everything else followed. As the decades passed, the fast food industry changed. Technology transformed how people ordered food. Social media transformed how brands communicated. Consumer expectations evolved faster than ever before. Companies that recognized those changes early gained momentum. Those that reacted late found themselves playing catch-up. That doesn't mean KFC failed, far from it. The brand still operates thousands of restaurants around the world. Its iconic logo is recognized across continents. Millions of customers continue to choose KFC every single week. In many international markets, it remains one of the strongest names in quick-service dining. But the story in America is different. The company that once defined an entire category no longer dominates it. Its rivals have grown stronger, faster, and more specialized. Some became famous for extraordinary customer service. Others built loyal communities around bold flavors. Others proved that doing fewer things exceptionally well could outperform trying to do everything. Together, they reshaped the market that KFC had once ruled almost uncontested. Looking back, it's tempting to search for one single mistake, one decision, one turning point, one moment when everything changed. But history rarely works that way. Great companies usually don't lose their position overnight. They lose it one small decision at a time. A shortcut here, a delayed innovation there, a missed trend, a stronger competitor, a changing customer expectation. Each change seems insignificant on its own. Together, they rewrite an entire industry. That's what makes the fried chicken wars so fascinating. This isn't just the story of fried chicken. It's the story of every business that has ever reached the top. Reaching the summit is one challenge. Staying there is another. Every market leader eventually faces the same question. Can yesterday's success create tomorrow's growth? Or will yesterday's success become tomorrow's biggest obstacle? For KFC, the answer is still being written. The company continues to invest, adapt, and compete in one of the most competitive restaurant industries in the world. Every new restaurant design, every menu update, and every marketing campaign is another attempt to remind customers why the Colonel's legacy still matters. Whether KFC will reclaim its former dominance in America remains uncertain. But one thing is certain: the fried chicken wars are far from over. Every day, millions of Americans choose where to spend their money. Every order becomes another vote, another signal, another reminder that in business, customer loyalty is never permanently won. It must be earned again and again. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson Colonel Sanders left behind. Never stop improving. Never assume success is guaranteed. And never believe that yesterday's victory is enough to win tomorrow's battle. If you enjoyed this documentary, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Does KFC still deserve a place among America's greatest fast food brands? Or has another chain earned the crown? We'd love to hear your perspective. If you enjoy documentaries that uncover the strategies, rivalries, successes, and failures behind the world's biggest companies, be sure to like this video, subscribe to Business Explained, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next story. Until next time, thanks for watching.